be no lifeguards, but you'll still be able to get ripped off by the high prices, the price gouging of the Jersey Shore, and pay over $5 for a hot dog or whatever they're getting. Cool. You can still get ripped off, but there won't be no lifeguards. But yeah, Labor Day weekend. Of course, people party. They don't even. Most people don't in America don't even know the meaning of any of these holidays. Memorial Day, Labor Day weekend. You know, they don't know. They just know it's a time to get drunk and stuff their face and maybe barbecue, and that's about it. All right, let's get right to the articles because we have a lot of articles. Oh boy. Yeah, those selfish people that take up 2 parking spaces.
A former North Texas high school teacher was convicted Friday and sentenced to 5 years in prison for having sex with 5 18-year-old students at her home.
Oh, she got gangbanged?
It looks that way.
5 18-year-olds, but all right, well, at least they weren't minors.
The Tarrant County jury decided on the sentence for Brittany Nicole Colleps, 28, of Arlington, Texas, after nearly 3 hours of deliberation.
Oh, Texas. They're supposed to be all prudish down there, right-wing fundamentalists.
It took jurors less than an hour to find her guilty earlier in the day of 16 counts of having an inappropriate relationship between a student and a teacher.
They made a big thing out of that? But they're adults. They're 18, right?
The second-degree felony is punishable by 2 to 20 years in prison.
How is that a felony?
Per count.
How is that a felony? For 2...
Because of religious nut stuff, that's why.
Yeah, but they're 2 consenting adults having sex.
Actually, they were 6. 6
consenting adults. Same woman, but 6. But they're adults. You know, she could take this to a higher court.
Not in this day and age.
But they're adults. There's no statutory rape here.
Not in this day and age with our religious tinted laws.
So you can't have sex anymore even if you're an adult?
Well, until that Supreme Court decision, which escapes me at the moment, homosexuals could not have sex in this country.
You couldn't
freely.
You couldn't go by the way of the Hershey Highway. You couldn't. No
sodomy. That's what it was.
No fudge packing.
No.
Well, I have a message.
Even in your own house.
I have
the privacy of your own humble abode, your castle.
Hey, let me tell you something. When people are in the privacy of their own homes or apartments, and they want to watch porn on the internet, it's nobody's damn fucking business. And as far as Texas goes, the law in Texas, telling people how to live their lives, even if they're adults, I suddenly have a very bad itch in the middle of my forehead, excuse me, that must be scratched. Oh, this is also for Michelle Marks of Utah, the Mormon that is so anti-sensuality, you know, she has nothing better to do. I have an itch in the middle of my forehead. She has nothing better to do than to make trouble for people that are getting laid. Ooh, that itch is bad. Ooh.
The former Cannondale High School English teacher had sex with the students at her home over 2 months in 2011. She is married and has 3 children. She turned herself in after a cell phone video of one encounter that involved multiple students emerged. The video was shown at the trial. 3 former students who testified Thursday said that they did not consider themselves victims and did not want to see their former English teacher prosecuted.
Excuse me.
The 3 were football and track athletes. Arlington Police Detective Jason Houston testified that charges were filed because, 18 or not, it's a crime for a teacher to have sex with her students.
I mean, it's not ethical. Like, I guess like a psychiatrist or a psychologist having sex, having an affair with their patient. It's not ethical. You could lose your license, perhaps, but as far as it being a crime, they're two adults. That's it, basically. They're just, you know.
Two former students told jurors their relationships with Collips began with the exchange of text messages that quickly turned sexual. A 19-year-old testified that he had gone to Collips' home twice with friends, and they all engaged in sexual conduct.
I hope she's an attractive teacher, at least.
It's not bad. There's a picture here.
Oh, okay.
A former student who is now 20 testified that he engaged in group sex and recorded his last encounter on his cell phone.
Oh, he didn't have a good camcorder?
He said that initially the students spoke of the importance of keeping their activities quiet.
You know, he can make a lot of money after this case is finished. He can make a lot of money on that video.
Because they didn't want their teacher to get in trouble.
Well, she's getting in trouble anyway.
The 20-year-old said when school officials called him into the office to question him in May 2011, he denied the trysts at first because I was trying to save her.
You know, in a way, it's very, very applicable that you're reading this article as the first article right after I talked about the Mormon Michelle Marks. It's very applicable.
Collips' husband was serving in the military overseas at the time
Applicable.
of the encounters.
Applicable. I'm sorry. Yeah.
Christopher Collips said Friday that he is mad at his wife.
Oh, she's got a husband?
3 kids.
3 kids? Oh, that makes it worse.
But he stands by her.
He stands by her? Stand by my wife? Or
she was a little hot, man. I mean, she couldn't. She
saying
couldn't take care of her own needs, obviously,
stand
and
by.
she had to indulge in promiscuity.
Well, maybe he was boring in bed. Maybe he was a right wing.
Well, he was away. How would she know that?
Oh, he was away. Oh.
He was in the military.
Oh, and she chose not to live on base. I guess.
Well, I don't know. Maybe he's in Afghanistan. Who the hell knows?
So when the cat's away, the mice shall play? Is that how it works?
Well, she needed maybe some release.
Well, and it's illegal to get a good dildo or a vibrator in Texas, right? You told me that.
It's Alabama, but Texas also had frowns upon these things, but I don't know if there's a specific law against it.
Same mentality, Alabama, Texas.
Yeah. Because till death do us part means till death do us part, he said.
Yeah, I wish you'd tell a lot of people that are married and leave their spouse.
He said putting her in jail would punish him and their children for something they had no control over. Cannondale is a town about 7,300 people near Arlington, 8 miles southeast of Fort Worth.
Oh, it's near Dallas.
And the high school had about 3,200 students.
So this woman's a pig. But as far as crime,
we don't know her story.
Let me take a gander at this chick. As far as crime goes, no, I don't consider her guilty of a crime. I consider her guilty of debauchery and adultery, but not a crime. Yeah.
Well, adultery is a crime.
Adultery is a crime?
Yes,
who said adultery was a crime?
It's on the books.
Where, in Texas?
All over the United States, except I think, what, was it New York? Maybe New York. Maybe it's all over. Who knows?
Right. What about anything about spousal abandonment on the books? Or no?
No.
Teacher receives 5-year term for sex with students. She's not good looking. Well, then again, you know, to each his own.
Well, what does that have to do with sex?
Yeah, I know. Brittany. She doesn't even know how to spell Brittany properly. Well, what a bunch of idiots.
That's her spelling.
No, Brittany, a name, a bona fide name that's in the history book should be spelled properly.
What about Shawanda?
No. Well, is it an African? Is it?
Yeah.
Does it have African origin? And is that how you spell Shawanda?
I don't know.
Shawanda should be spelled properly the way they did in Africa.
People have their own names and spellings.
They're idiots.
Okay.
I don't believe in people making up their own names.
Oh, then you don't like Carl von Fredericks. I told you the story.
Well, he had a stage name. His name was Kaplan.
I'm not talking about his name. I'm talking about how he says about the English language.
It's messed up.
No, to make it suit you.
All right,
Instead of calling humans primates, he calls them primates.
What the fuck?
And monkeys he calls primates.
What is a primate?
A distinction between a monkey and a human.
Well, he majored in English. He had a PhD.
Well, then he had a right to change it, right? That's what I'm saying.
Brittany Nicole Colleps of Arlington, Texas, 28. Here's the woman that got arrested and has to do time just because she had sex with her 18-year-old students.
Yeah.
5 counts, right? 18-year-old
20
students.
counts.
Huh?
20 counts.
20 counts. 18-year-old students. They were adults.
And they liked it.
No statutory rape.
Nobody was hurt.
Just because she was a teacher and they were a student.
No victims.
I'm not sure if you could see her.
Whoa.
On the camera. You know, I don't want them to see a blurry Brittany. Blurry Brittany.
Blurry Brittany. That's a good name.
All right. I'm not sure if you can see it, but that's her. You know, I mean, not my type, but that's besides the point. That's her. That's Brittany. So anyway, you people, if you want to bust Miss or Ms. Michelle Marks of West Jordan, Utah, who goes to Brigham Young University, just go on Facebook and look up Michelle Marks. I think she spells it with one L, M-I-C-H-E-L-E, as opposed to those who spell it with 2 L's. Marks, like it sounds, M-A-R-K-S, West Jordan, Utah. And you could befriend her and bust, or you could just, now you could send messages without befriending anybody on Facebook. Just bust their balls, you know. If you happen to be a smart progressive like we are, you won't appreciate this ideology and this religious zealot nut behavior. This woman is on a witch hunt, and that was a very applicable article because that shows the mentality of Americans living in the so-called red state Bible Belt region of America, where their concept of religion is based on a cult and not on the God of the Bible. Facts. The reality. All right?
Were we all asleep during the 8 years before President Obama?
I don't know. Were we? Excuse me.
That president was also a businessman.
Sure.
Toward the end of his presidency, he gave us 700,000 new unemployed, a super reason for new food stamp allotments. As for Mitt Romney's business experience, it was great for Romney. He didn't create jobs. He took companies, good and bad. If bad, he took what was left, gave it to the investors, and dumped the workers. Apparently fearful about Medicare, should consider Paul Ryan's plan to change Medicare as we know it. I'm grateful to Medicare for saving my life. I would never have been able to get enough insurance from Ryan's plan to do for me what Medicare did. It should not be changed the way Paul Ryan suggests. There are dozens of ways that Medicare can be fixed without destroying it.
Of course, it can be fixed. Number one, prosecute the people, the physicians and medical centers and hospitals that are guilty of stealing from Medicare and prevent future theft of Medicare. And number two, modify it so it will be provided as a public option for low-income people. Instead of people having to find a hospital that has charity care that they can apply for, have a nationwide modified Medicare system for retired, of course, people living on a fixed income. Not rich old people.
We were there.
Not rich retired people, but regular, nice, middle class to lower middle class.
We were there with the public option. They blocked it.
So that was a modified Medicare.
It was
program?
Medicare for all.
But
Medicare for all.
But they were going to prevent Medicare from getting ripped off, right?
Well, that's part of it, but I'm talking about just the extension of it to all people in the United States, like in the other industrialized countries of the world.
And the Republicans, of course, hated it.
That's correct.
Just like they don't.
Socialism, communism.
Just like they don't like the minimum wage law. And what would happen? Maybe they would have to pay taxes to support such a public option.
Maybe they would have to pay their fair share of taxes.
Now, do you see how vile and greedy and miserable the human species really is? Well, not all people. I mean, the right-wingers. These are miserable.
Well, those people,
horrible people.
Those people, according to their philosophy, are deceived. The devil has them deceived.
I mean,
Revelation 12:9, the whole world is deceived.
It amazes me how adults in America that are not high income can think that a Republican who just cares about the rich would be in their best interest.
They got them pretty flummoxed, don't they?
If since a Republican will only help the rich and only cares about their own people, the 1%, how on earth would they care about the well-being of middle class and lower middle class people? And now, of course, you got I don't know why she cracks me up, but the wife of WWE, Vincent Kennedy McMahon, Linda McMahon, of course, is running for something in Connecticut. And all this job creator commercials, all this job creators versus job killers, and giving tax, lowering. She's promising to lower the taxes
on who?
Of the middle class in Connecticut.
Really? Oh my goodness! Because Paul Ryan and they're talking about, and you got to listen to the code words here. Broadening the base.
Broadening the base?
You know what that means?
What?
More taxes for the middle class and the poor.
And what about the rich?
Broadening. No. Tax cuts for the job creators.
Well,
and broadening the base.
Oh, really? Did you hear that, folks? Mr. President Barack Obama, I hope you take this fact, and I hope that you jump on it and in detail you hammer the stupid G.W. Bush the second, Mitt Romney, and what's this goofball's first name? Paul Ryan, and hammer them just like I'm hitting my hand with the shillelagh. Hammer them on every negative thing that they're in favor of, and just relentlessly do to them what the Republicans like to do to the Democrats when they're running. You gotta fight dirty. You gotta roll up your sleeves and get in the swamps and the mud and fight dirty. Get them, man.
The Republicans do not like it when the Democrats do what they do. They don't like it.
You mean when the Democrats do what they do in a positive way, right? For the good of the people?
When the Democrats use the same tactics
too damn bad
as the Republicans do, they don't like it.
Hey man, that's life.
Well, you see what happened with Joe Biden the other day.
Does a predator like it when when they try to kill and eat a porcupine, and the porcupine sticks a few dozen of its quills in the face of the predator? and it's very hard to get them out, and the predator can get an infection from it and croak. Does the predator like it? No, of course the predator doesn't like it, but the porcupine is happy that it wasn't victimized. Well, the same thing with what the Republicans like and what they don't like. I can care less what they like and what they don't like.
Yeah, but that's not the issue. The issue is
what is the issue?
What do they get away with?
Because they control the media.
That's correct. They get away with it because they got the big megaphone.
And they got the big megaphone because the sponsors of the media that pay the salaries of those goofballs
are corporate
with the big pearly white teeth and the nice suit and tie are corporatists because they pay their salaries, and the sponsors are the corporations, and the same corporations support the campaigns of the Republicans and rich Democrats that are blue dog. Right? And that's how it goes. That's how it goes. It's a very wicked, evil, corrupt world, people out there, and we are living in the end times, and you're hearing it direct from Newsletter Censored and Mega Life 21. Hardest hitting internet talk radio station on the planet. An individual that I know, a friend of mine, who I'm now duking it out with ferociously, has accused us, me and Dr. Bill, of producing.
Little old me.
He's accused me, in particular,
good.
of producing pretend shows. Now, if we produced pretend shows, would I be showing my mug every week on Saturday afternoon, Eastern Standard Time, and revealing the truths of life and the world today and all the problems and issues of the United States of America and the world? Would I have the coolioons,
the audacity,
the brass balls to show my face and stick my chest
out? What does
out,
that have to do with a pretend show?
my pecs, and do this on
What's a
worldwide
show?
media, brother, internet talk radio? Does this look like pretend to you? All the other people that are doing their little videos like the beer reviews, all right, what they do is great. What they do is great in terms of the subject they talk about in their little video clips. They're very knowledgeable people. I have nothing against them. But how come you don't call their little video reviews pretend shows? Why am I producing pretend shows? Why? Because I talk about the real truth? Because I'm not a corporate ass kisser? Because I'm not a political ass kisser?
Yeah.
Does it have something to do?
Yeah.
Am I hitting
something to do with the truth?
Am I hitting a raw nerve? Because me and the Reverend Dr. William J. Eisman are dealing with the real truths of life in today's world?
And you give too much credence to these critics.
You mean
Who
flamers?
are nothing but flamers and boobs.
Well, the flamer I'm talking about has no personal photograph of himself on the internet.
Who cares?
Well, what I'm saying is, if I'm a pretender, wasn't that a rock group at one time?
Yes.
If I'm
Chrissy Hines.
Chrissy Hines and the Pretenders.
Pretenders.
If I was a pretender, would I be showing my mug?
Well, why do you think you have to get into the situation of having to...
Every single Saturday afternoon, would I be showing my mug? Really?
Why do you think that you should have to be thrust into the situation of having to prove something to a boob? You elevate the boob.
Because he savagely criticized and put down what we do. What
you should have said, you know what? Please, do not watch. If it upsets you that much, please, do not watch. I do not want to be responsible for your high blood pressure or whatever.
Well, the same thing with Michelle Marks from Utah.
She shouldn't be on that page.
If you don't like the scantily clad women, simply don't watch. Get the clicker.
There's a little dial on it.
You got to curse
off and on, off and on.
Off and on. You got a left clicker on your mouse of your computer, and you got a cursor. Move the cursor and click somewhere else if you don't like it. Because what you're talking about, people, is censorship. That's it.
That's correct.
All right, we have to stop the first video because we're doing this in segments now because Americans, humans, have a short attention span, and people were crying oh, boo-hoo-hoo, that our video shows are much too long, so we got to do it in segments. So video 1, this is the conclusion of video 1 of this week's show. And then, of course, the next one will be, video 2. Oh, isn't that clever? People are so illogical. Like Mr. Spock would say. Right, buddy boy? But anyway, it's time for the Reverend Dr. William J. Eisenman's gastronomic delight, known as lunch. And then we will
resume.
We will resume with resume. Resume. Well, don't sound too pretentious now. You know, me and Tom Mulvihill, the beer whisperer, we had a conversation about pretension.
Well, I'm anything but pretentious.
No, we're very humble.
I am a humble.
We are humble
servant of God.
That's right.